All right, so welcome to the basics group. As you can see, we have some people that have been coaches for a while on here. We got many of you who are brand new at the coaching thing and you're going through basics for the first time, which is really cool. I do want to give you a little tour of Zoom. So many of you that are brand new, you might not have used Zoom before, so this might be a brand new thing to you. But this is kind of how we have meetings. I meet with our team like this. I meet with corporate like this. I meet with my prospects like this. Let's say I find somebody on Facebook and I want to meet with them face-to-face, but they're in another state, I'll invite them to a Zoom chat, and so face-to-face is a great thing, and due to technology, we're able to do this. So a lot of times when we get on Zoom, we do prefer that you are on video. The last round we had, it was a little bit off just because the majority of the people weren't on video, so it made it a little bit weird to have video conferencing when everybody looked like a phone, right? So I do want to invite you, if you can't be on video tonight, that's totally understandable, but figure out how you can use Zoom and video in, if at all possible. So with that said, just a little rundown, you guys can pin the videos, like if you want to just see me. I prefer to see the whole team when we do this, so the recording will show whatever mine shows here. But if you want to unmute yourself, you can scroll over that little microphone that's on your picture and right click it and click unmute if you need to speak during the call. If you have to go to the bathroom, you don't even need to raise your hand, just get up and go. Nobody's going to know, you don't need to interrupt the call to let us know you got to go potty. This is the sign for potty, by the way. So I have a 22-month-old little girl and we're teaching her baby sign language and potty, anyway. If I listen, I'm like a Mr. Mom. I work from home full time as a Beachbody coach, so I'm home all day with her. So with that said, I want to welcome you guys to this group, first of all, and let you guys know that all of us, the leaders, the people that have been around for a while, we appreciate the fact that you stood up and said, hey, this is something I want to do. Like, not only did you become a coach, but you're also investing your time into going through a training group with us so that we can teach you some of our best methods, some of the methods from the network that we have learned. It's not that we know everything. You're going to have to make your own way through this, but we can give you some tips and pointers to kind of make your path a little bit easier and faster for you so that you're not constantly running into brick walls. You might be wondering who the hell I am. So I'm just going to introduce myself because most of you, I did not sponsor myself. And so I don't want to take for granted, you guys will be on these calls each and every Tuesday night. And so I think I owe it to you at least to introduce myself. But my name is Tommy. I'm just a regular guy. Like many of you, the one thing I love about Beachbody is real people from real places with real results that are kind of coming together and joining this mission to help other people with something that we have all fallen in love with because it works, right? And so, and the fact that the company's willing to pay us for doing that is incredible. But who I am at the core, I lived 39 years in my little hometown of Bellevue, Ohio. We do have a couple of people in this group that are from there. Sarah Clark is going to be in this group, and Kendra Clark are both from my hometown of Bellevue, Ohio. It's a town of about 9,000 people. And 8 years ago, back in, I guess it was 8 years ago, 2007, man, time flies. I picked up P90X. So I had spent the majority of my life as an obese man. From age 12 on, I had developed really bad eating habits. I was a fat kid. I was a fat high schooler. I was an even fatter college kid. I had a lot of emotional reasons why I ate the way I did. I was always active athletically, like I played football, but obesity was something that always plagued me until 8 years ago. And I would try everything, like a lot of people that find this network. I'd go to the gym a little bit, and I'd go for a few weeks. I'd lose 10 pounds. Somebody would comment and I'd go eat pizza, I remember there was actually a day when I filled out the Biggest Loser form, but I only weighed like 280 pounds. And I was sitting in my insurance office and I was filling out the form for the Biggest Loser. And I was just at that point in my life where I knew something needed to change, right? And so I'm filling out this form and I'm like, but I'm watching the show and these guys are 400 pounds. And I'm like, there's no way, I weighed as much as the women did. So there was no way I was going to make this show. So it came down between Nutrisystem and P90X. And thank God I picked P90X. I figured it was time for me to work for it, right? Instead of trying to take the easy way out. And so I picked up P90X in 2007. At the time that I picked up P90X and started Beachbody, I was a full-time insurance agent in my hometown. I was actually the vice president of an insurance agent, and my my life dream at that point was to own this agency, right? And to just be an insurance agent and own an agency in my little hometown. I was also a high school football coach. I still coach high school football. It's something I love, but I now coach in Florida. I happen to coach for a very successful high school program now that produces more NFL athletes than any high school in the country. And so working with very top talented athletic kids down here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So needless to say, I started as a coach. You know, I was one of those guys that I went to the website. I was a customer lead. I was a free customer for my coach. And that's something we're going to show all of you, how you can qualify for those free customers. And that's kind of your first step, is learning how to do that, you know, and make sure that you're not only finding your own people, but that, you know, it's kind of like a match system where you go find some people and Beachbody gives you some people. And it's a beautiful thing. And I probably make several $100s a week now after collecting these free customers, you know, several hundred a week on these free customers that I've gotten over the course of the last, you know, 5 or 6 years as a coach. But I didn't, you know, when I first signed up to be a Beachbody coach, I really didn't even want to do it, right? It was like one of those things where I was so friggin' busy and I had a social life. I was playing poker 3 nights a week with my buddies and doing all that kind of stuff. And so being a Beachbody coach wasn't something in my head that I was going to do, or that was going to become my full-time occupation, or that was going to lead me to what is now a mid-6-figure income, you know, and trying to come up with ways to go from that to 7 figures a year. And as a guy that was making $60,000 a year as an insurance agent, here I am, you know, 7 years in, and for the last 3 years in a row, you know, our household has made over $300,000 as coaches, you know, and I don't say that to impress you, but I say that to impress upon you that you joined something that can literally change your life and the lives of many other people if you just kind of embrace it and stay course with it. I was a coach for 2 years before I decided to get really serious about it. So after a couple of years, I was making a couple $100 a week, which was fine because that was kind of my goal, right? I figured if I could make enough money to pay for my fitness habit, that would be great. You know, plus it was getting expensive. All the weight that I was losing, you know, it was getting expensive buying these friggin' new clothes, you know, like, I'm like, oh damn, I got to buy 38s. Oh damn, I got to buy 36s. Oh damn, I got to buy 34s. Right. And so it kept, you know, to change. So luckily I was making extra money with Beachbody because it helped me cover those expenses that first year, you know? And so here we are, you know, it's changed my life. I mean, quite honestly, I don't have to be here with you guys. I mean, we have a large enough team, almost 4,000 coaches now. Whether I go out and help people with their fitness or weight loss or not, I'm going to make thousands of dollars this week. Whether I get on these calls with you guys, I'm going to make thousands of dollars this week. And so this is not about me when I'm here. There's a reason why I come each and every month and help brand new coaches get started, because I know what it's like to be you. And I figure that my biggest incentive is to help other people, because Beachbody helped me overcome a monstrous thing in my life with obesity. And I know how it feels to struggle with that. And I know how it feels to be on the other side of it. And I figure that you guys know some people that might need some help. Right. And so if I can help you help more people, then I've done my job. And so that's why we're here for this group. You know, this is not about me. Like I said, I don't have to be here. I really come here voluntarily. A lot of the other coaches, like, I didn't sponsor you guys, you know, a lot of these other coaches did. And so I make it easier on them so they don't have to do the training. Does that make sense? And I'll make it easier on you, you know, like, you don't have to be an expert at this thing. You know, you just have to be able to recommend stuff and be able to plug people into stuff like this. And we'll help you take care of them and get them started off. Right. So that's my story, you know, with Beachbody. It's changed my life. I mean, I used to never travel ever. I mean, for me, a trip when I was a little kid was like going to the community pool for the weekend, you know, or for the day, or going to a Tribe game. My grandpa used to take me to a Tribe game or a Ohio State game or something like that. And that was like our vacation, right? Was just attending a athletic event. Since I've been a Beachbody coach, I mean, I've been on two cruises. I've been to the south of France. I've been to Bora Bora, you know, those like little huts where over the blue water, the crystal blue waters, right? Yeah, I got to stay in one. You ever see the movie Couples Retreat? You guys know that movie, right? That's where they took us for that top 10 trip. So we actually stayed in that, and then I'm watching the movie. I'm like, that's our room. That's stupid, you know? We're going to Cancun here in like a month. 6 weeks, something like that. We're going to Cancun. That's all stuff that you guys can learn to qualify for just by going out there and spreading the word and helping people and learning some of the stuff that we're going to be teaching during the course of this 30 days. All right. So enough about me. I've been around for 7 or 8 years. And I got to tell you, this is a very exciting time. You guys are coming in at a time that is friggin' hot and now, and seriously, because with Beachbody On Demand, the 21-day fix, T25, there's no reason, because people really, really want what we have, right? People believe they could do 21-day fix. People believe they could do T25. It used to not be that way when it was P90X and Insanity. A lot of people were like, holy crap, I can't do that, right? And because we tend to lead with the fitness a lot, it's really opened up to a lot more people. Maybe some of you came in because of one of those programs. And so during the course of this 30 days, right, this is a 1-month program. We understand that you have busy lives. We understand that you have families, that you have jobs, that you have other stuff going on. We understand this is not your full-time job. We don't want to make it your full-time job, especially right out of the gate. So what we do is we kind of break down your learning on a day-to-day basis. So there's daily assignments in that Rock the Basics page, right? So, every day you should go in there and check. Now, some coaches will go in maybe a couple times a week and do a few of them at a time because they're only like 5 minutes a piece. You might have to write something up, or you might have to print something off or something like that, right? But over the course of that 30 days, you really should get ingrained into some very basic premises that we're going to cover a little bit tonight. But you're going to have those daily assignments. That's the first thing. So your job is this. Your job, one, is to show up every day. Okay. And just make sure you're doing those assignments. And if and when you have questions about those, ask. You got me, Danielle, Tammy, Jay, Michelle. I mean, you've got a bunch of people in that page that have been through this, that are doing this, that are helping people. Some of us struggled at first and didn't do very well, but we stayed course and we've learned. And so you've got resources available to you and other people available to you that are here to help you. So that Rock the Basics page is going to be like your home page, right? So between your sponsoring coach and that page, those are the resources that you should be using right now to just ask questions. Even if it's like, hey, I'm out there talking to this person, I don't know what to say, just come and ask. Come and ask, right? We have talked to thousands of people, so we're pretty good at it by this point, right? So if you don't know what to say, or if you're afraid to respond, or you're afraid to say the wrong thing, just come and ask us, what would you say to this person? And we'll walk you through that process of how you can help that person. So you got the daily assignments. We're going to have these weekly meetings, and on these meetings, they're going to be about 45 minutes long, okay? Every Tuesday night, 45 minutes. We do record these meetings, but we prefer that you're on live. The reason is sometimes Zoom will screw up and it won't save the recording. And so if that's the case, there's no way for us to recapture it and get it to you. So being on live is preferred, so that way you don't miss information that might be of value to you. The recordings, and then or the calls every week. And during the calls, there's a lot of learning that goes on during the calls, okay? It's one thing to read an assignment. It's another thing to hear it and to hear somebody explain it and to, you know what I'm saying? And I can tell you this, that the coaches that we've had that have had moderate to good success long-term have been through these programs like you guys are going through. They started out just like you, had never done a home-based business before, right? They started out like you, they just picked up a program. They got excited about Beachbody. They figured, why not be a coach? But how many of you have never been a coach before? How many of you have never ran a home-based business before, right? Okay. How many of you, this is your first go to where you're like, man, I'm actually selling something, you know what I'm saying? This is your first go to use social media as a method of earning income for yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? How many of you have never thought about social media as a way to earn income? You see what I'm saying? How many people do you know that spend hours and hours on social media all day in their phone like this, doing this all friggin' day and never help anybody else and never make a dime? All they do is bitch, complain, post funny jokes, right? Talk about their favorite TV show. Does that make sense? So as you stick around as a coach, we're going to show you, more ways on how you can use your Facebook time to do what we're doing and actually make money doing it. How many of you would like to make some money? And it's okay. You're allowed to say you would like to make some money. That's the great thing about this company. I want you to, first of all, comprehend this, because I get a lot of new coaches that sit there and go, a lot of new coaches, and I'm kind of off track from my notes, but I really don't care. I get a lot of new coaches that go, well, I just don't want people to think I just want to make money from them. Here's my question to you. How many things do you recommend to other people, right? How many of you recommend your favorite restaurant to people, right? Like you got a Mexican restaurant and you go to it and then you sit all day on the toilet the next day, right? You know, that's the football coach in me. I can be a little bit off color, a little bit non-PC. I hope you can deal with that. You know, I'm not always PC, but the deal is this: does that restaurant give you 25% commission for sending people to them? How many of you recommend, you know, I mean, anything, you know, anything that you recommend? The great thing about Beachbody is here's a company that we have all partnered with that is willing to give its customers a cut for the recommendation, right? If everybody gave us a cut for our recommendations, we wouldn't have to work a full-time job because we recommend things all the time. So if you can recommend anything, how many of you have recommended a doctor to somebody or a hairstylist to somebody, right? And you've sent people to your hairstylist. You know, how many of, you know, I mean, I recommend a chiropractor to people. I recommend all kinds of stuff to people. Okay. This is one thing that we can recommend where the company says, if you recommend what we have to other people and they actually get it from you, then we'll send you money for it. To me, that's a winning deal, right? I think all businesses should be set up that way. When I started out, I didn't understand, you know, I didn't understand that. I was in the mindset of dollars for hours, earning a salary, right? How many of you grow up and you hear, you know, go to work, get a job, you know, right? Does that make sense? So you're working for a certain number of dollars for every hour you work. So working a 40-hour work week, you get paid for 40 hours. If you get overtime, you get time and a half, right? All of those things. So the thing about Beachbody though is, you know, and this kind of a business is this. One, the overhead, you know, if you were to go start a traditional business, you'd have to pay for a building, you'd have to pay for supplies, you'd have to pay workers to come in, you'd have to pay for the product, right? You'd have to hold the product, inventory the product, right? All of that stuff. We have a chance with Beachbody to do none of that. All we have to do is be excited about it, share our stories, and help other people. We don't have to make the product. We don't have to package the product. We don't even have to market the product. The company does that for us, right? We don't have to do any of that stuff. All we have to do is drink a freaking shake every day. That's the healthiest thing on earth for you, right? And it literally is. If you've never, you know, really heard the story of Shakeology, I recommend that you dig into it. We got a call with Darren O'Lean. You hear that guy talk one time, you'll never go a day of your life without drinking this stuff. I promise you. Okay. In fact, I've been drinking it like 6 times a day since he was on our call 2 weeks ago, because I'm like, damn, that stuff is good. I need, you know, and I got 2 extra bags. Hell yeah. I'm going to start drinking. I'm like double fisting Shakeology, chocolate, strawberry, you know? You know, so that's all we got to do, right? Drink a shake once a day, push play once a day, right? Be advocates for healthy, active living. And so we're going to get into that. All right. I digress. But so here's the thing. You know, the one thing that I want you guys to understand is this, that there are 2 ways to make money as Beachbody coaches. There's 2 ways that we help people, okay? The first way, and the way that we're going to focus we only have 30 days with you. We can't teach you everything in 30 days. Does that make sense? The first way is retailing, is getting people started on their fitness journey as customers or as challengers. And during the basics course that you guys are in right now, that we're really going to focus on that aspect of what we do, okay? And then there's the second aspect, which is team building. How many of you, when you signed up to be a coach, you joined somebody's team, right? Like you had a coach, that coach enrolled you, and you are on their team. Does that make sense? Okay? So team building is the second way that we help people, okay? We're going to show you what I think is a system that will help people in both ways, right? And during the course of this 30 days right here, we're going to focus mostly on the first part of that, which is the retailing, which is the building of challenge groups, which is finding challengers, getting people started on health and fitness, right? Getting them to get a challenge pack so that they can, you know, have their fitness, have their shake, have their coach, have their accountability, and go with it. The next group that we have to offer that you guys can qualify for, and I'm going to explain how you can do that, that's focused mostly on team building. So there's two 30-day courses here. Does that make sense? You guys are in the first one. You're in like the beginner's one. If you do decent, then you can graduate, right? How many of you know if you failed high school, you wouldn't get into college? How many of you know that, right? Like seriously, if you were like F-bombing, not with your mouth, but on your grade card, if you were F-bombing in high school and you went and applied to Yale, they weren't going to take you. Does that make sense? Right? So we're set up the same way. Okay? You got to pass the test here in basics and do well. You ain't got to be an A+ student, but you got, here's how you can do well. Show up. Right? That's the first thing. Show up. Okay? I guarantee you by the end of this call, if we've got 20 people in this group, there might be 6 of you left. Those are the 6 that I'm going to let in the ramp. Does that make sense? Right? That's the first step. Second step is this. Hit some very easy to understand goals. Okay? And we're going to explain those goals to you. And if you hit those 2 little simple goals by the end of this month, then you're solid. All right? How many of you can hit goals? How many of you can set a goal and hit it, right? Like you can say, okay. Especially if you it's nothing like, it's like shooting a free throw. We're not expecting you to do something you can't understand or see. We're just going to set that first thing in motion for you. So understand that there's 2 ways to make money. The point of this group is the first step, is the retailing, is the challenge groups, and the first part of that. Okay? During the course of this 30 days, what I want to do is kind of give you what I think you really need to get out of this. Does that make sense? Out of these 30 days. These are the points that I think you really need to understand, comprehend, and do. So I'm giving you, how many of you, in literature class, if they gave you a book, like you would go buy the cheat sheet, what do they call it? The Cliff Notes, right? Okay, these are Tommy's Cliff Notes. I'm going to give you my Cliff Notes, okay? Does that make sense? I'm giving you the Cliff Notes so that you could go, well, okay, that's important, or that's not, maybe that's not as vital, all right? The first thing to comprehend is this, the 3 vital behaviors. And I can tell you, because sometimes I go, is it really that simple? And I can tell you, yeah, it is. Whenever you talk to a coach that's actually doing well and helping people and happy in their own life, they're following these 3 things. So those 3 vital behaviors, number 1, be a product of the product. Okay, number 1, as coaches, we are advocates for healthy, active living. It does not mean you have to be perfect. And I will be the first person to tell you this. I am not perfect. I have had my struggles. Okay. Thank God I'm still a coach, because if I weren't still a coach and I weren't surrounded by all of these friggin' awesome, amazing, driven, supportive people, and some of them like Danielle that puts a foot in my ass when I need it, if I weren't surrounded by them, I'd be right back to as fat as I was when I started. I promise you that. Right. But because I'm a coach, it's still in my mind. I'm still getting my workouts in, even if I'm struggling through them or whatever. Does that make sense? I'm still thinking about, I'm living healthier than I was when I first started. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean I'm perfect. It doesn't mean like, oh my gosh, I can't ever eat a tortilla chip. I mean, I do eat tortilla chips from time to time. All right. But being a product of the product, what's that mean? It means this: you're drinking your Shakeology. Okay. And if you have a question on Shakeology, okay, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to find your own belief in that. I believe in it. I didn't at first. I was a skeptic at first. I didn't buy it for the first 6 months it was out. I was like, that shit's way too expensive. I'm not buying it, right? There's no way in hell. I'm going to go get the $23.95 whey protein that is at Walmart that's made with friggin' sawdust. Now I know this. It's sawdust. Flavored sawdust is what you're drinking for $23, okay? Go get that stuff, all right? I was a skeptic, but I had friends of mine that I trusted that had been through their weight loss with me, and they started drinking it, and one of them got off cholesterol meds. Another one was like his eyesight got better and all that. I mean, it was nuts, right? And so my mom, who was 30 years older than me, she had been on cholesterol and been overweight the majority of her life. She didn't want to do P90X. I had her start drinking Shakeology. I said, listen, I just drink it for 90 days, okay? And it was really me kind of testing it, but I was testing it with my mom, right? Well, she lost 35 pounds. She walked and did like a couple of days of Power 90, P90 every week, and then she drank Shakeology. And her cholesterol went from 280 on meds to 140 off meds, right? And she had been on meds for 20 freaking years. And even on meds, it was 280. And all of a sudden, it's 140 and that was after like 60 days. Her doctor takes her off her cholesterol meds. And she calls me, and she couldn't be happier, right? And I saw it literally transform my mom because she was feeling pretty crappy about herself, on meds, overweight, 60 years old, you know, and that made me a believer. And the longer I've been around and the more I learn what's out there in the world and what we actually give people, I could tell you that there's not very much on the shelf that I would let my little girl drink. There's not, right? My little 22-month-old girl, but she doesn't go a day. My little girl does not go a day without drinking some Shakeology. She gets about a quarter of a Shakeology every day to a half. Okay. She runs around. She's like, shake, shake, you know, like, okay. But, I mean, that's how much we believe in it. Is when my wife was pregnant, she used it as her prenatal vitamin. She did not take a prenatal vitamin. How many of you know that if you were pregnant with a child or your wife was pregnant with a child, that you would want only the best for that child while it's in her womb, right? In our household, that was Shakeology. So to me, it's worth every penny of the retail price of $4.30 a day. Okay. I mean, people are spending that on friggin' Red Bull, you know? And it's definitely worth the coach price of whatever that is, $3.20 a day, you know, because you get 25% off, right? So that's the first thing. We drink our Shakeology every day. And I'm not telling you that so that I make money. I make plenty of money. I tell you that because honestly, for our health and all the crap that we actually put into our bodies, we could at least feed it something really, really, really good every single day. Darren has a book called Super Life. Go read that. You know, I mean, the stuff we offer with Shakeology and the Ultimate Reset, there's nothing else like it that is really legitimately 100% good for people, you know, but what we offer is. So I believe in that. You know, we do that. You know, we exercise. It doesn't mean that the only programs you ever have to do are Beachbody programs, okay? You know, but if you're someone that started out in fitness and you've never really done your own Beachbody program, pick up a program and do it, and you'll find that it is good fitness. You know, it's really good, solid fitness. You know, that people can do anywhere. They don't have to have a gym and you know there. But that's what we do. Product of the product. You know, we work out, we push play, we stay accountable. Write this down. Fitness plus nutrition plus support equals success. Okay? Fitness, nutrition, and support equals success. And so that's what we do. The first thing is this. We do our own workouts. We are on top of our own nutritional game using Shakeology. And then we also encounter the team, right? The team of people that the coaches are what provide the support. Okay, we are the support piece. We are the missing key that most people are missing in their own journey for health and wellness. They don't have the support. They don't have the community of people. All right. So that's the product of the product. The more you're on top of your game with the fitness and nutrition, the more likely you are to recommend it to other people. Okay. Even if you're not like at an after picture yet, doesn't matter. Right. But if you're walking around sore this week, I guarantee you're going to be talking about, oh, I'm so sore. I've been doing that T25, right? And that Shaun T is really kicking my ass. You know, I guarantee it'll come out of your mouth more because you're doing it. How many of you talk about the things that you're doing, right? So if you're doing it, you're more likely to talk about it, which is the second vital behavior, inviting people. It's talking about it and inviting other people, right? I'm going to give you the easiest way, because I get a lot of new coaches that are like, I don't know what to say. We're going to teach you what to say over the course of this thing, okay? But I'm going to give you one tip tonight because I don't want you to go this week. And if the moment comes up where you're talking about it to somebody, I don't want you to fudge it up, right? Okay, so the easiest way, write this down. Have you considered? Have you ever considered doing one of these Beachbody workouts? Ask that question. That's the easiest way to get it in front of people if you find yourself in a conversation, all right? Have you ever considered? So have you ever considered doing one of those? Have you ever tried a Beachbody workout before? I say that a lot. Have you ever tried one? Have you ever done a Beachbody program? Have you ever considered working out at home instead of at the gym? Okay. So that's the second vital behavior, is inviting. Inviting people to join us as challengers and coaches. Those are the two things that we invite people to. How many of you at some point, somebody invited you to do a Beachbody program and you finally, eventually, after 6 months said yes? right? How many of you then, at some point, your coach said, have you ever considered being a coach? I think you'd be great. Have you ever considered being a coach? It would save you money, right? They've been through this training. It's not rocket science. That's the two things we invite people to. Starting on their fitness and being a coach. And the majority of coaches say, have you ever considered? I think you'd be great. That's it, okay? The third vital behavior is personal development. It's learning. This group is your first step to personal development. Learning something new that you maybe have never learned before. And I got to tell you this, personal development has completely changed my life more than even the fitness side of this stuff has, right? So for personal development, we're going to have you do the First Steps to Wealth book by Danny Johnson. Danny is my personal mentor. A lot of our coaches have been through her training. She has changed my life radically in many, many ways. She's a business coach, a life coach, a financial coach, a spiritual coach, right? So we're going to have you read her book. A lot of the skills that we use, people skills, right? Personality types, all that stuff that you hear us talking about are going to be in her book. Does that make sense? Because I learned from her. So the stuff we're teaching you is stuff I learned from her. So why would I want to, I don't want you to read my book. I want you to read her book. Does that make sense? I don't have a damn book. I'm too busy working, helping people to write a book. Okay. So, all right. So that's the third thing is personal development. You're going to get that book, First Steps to Wealth. I think it's free. You pay like $6 shipping. All right. Can't make it any easier for you. It's an easy read. There's a lot of stuff in there about life, debt, all kinds of stuff, but it's a great book. I want to introduce you to Danny. All right. Number two, so that was the 3 vital behaviors. Number 2 area that I think you need to focus on is the challenge group system. Understanding that we have a system of moving people from A to B to C. A is the person outside that has nothing to do with Beachbody, right? We move them from A. We help them get to B. B is somebody who's doing the workouts and joins us as a challenger or whatever, right? They get a challenge pack from us, okay? And then C is eventually helping them become a coach, right? So that's all we do. How many of you can learn to move people from A to B to C? If you can learn that, you just do that month after month. You're just like directing traffic, man. A to B to C. Get to B. Okay, you're doing good at B. Get to C. That's it. I don't even need to teach you anything else. I think class, we can just dismiss class. Just go do that. That's all you got to do, right? I'm serious. I think we overcomplicate this stuff sometimes, A to B to C. All right. Challenge group system. What that means is this: we start people out as challengers. The majority of our network came in as people, regular people that picked up a program that was like, man, this stuff is great. I feel great. My jeans are fitting better. And they found they were recommending it. And they thought the company's going to pay me to recommend it. I might as well be a coach. Okay. If I'm going to continue drinking the shakes, I might as well save money. The majority of coaches made their decision that way. That's the majority of people that come into this network that way. Now, there are people who go from A to B and maybe they're really into fitness. Let's say they're not into Beachbody fitness, but they're into fitness, right? And they've never had an opportunity to where they could make money for helping people with fitness. And so they might come in as a coach first because of that. They already are advocating healthy, active living. Does that make sense? They're already doing that. They're already talking about it. They're just not talking about it with Beachbody. And so they start talking about it with Beachbody and they get paid for that. All right. So it's the challenge group system. You're going to want to know that. Number 3 is this, your daily to-do list and the power of 3. Okay. So I believe that, write this down, the right activity always produces the right result. Okay. And over the course of this 30 days, we're going to introduce you to these daily to-do lists that if all you do is take that to-do list and just make sure that in a power hour, like in 1 hour a day, you do all of those things, right? You're going to be a lot better off than if you work all day and don't have any idea or clue what you're doing or why you're doing it. All right. So those are going to be important things. All right. In the power of 3. Number 4 is social media. Learning how to openly promote on Facebook or Instagram, okay? During this, one of our calls is going to be all about Facebook, okay? The third call, we're going to do that. All right. But if you're not sure what to say on your Facebook or how to put it out there, guess what you can do? Ask. Because guess what? How many times have the other people in this group put stuff out on Facebook? A lot, right? So come and ask us. We've done it before. Does that make sense? You don't have to be an expert at this. If you want to put something out there, you're not quite sure what to say, ask. The third call, we're going to talk to you about what to say and how to say it. All right. Number 5 is what we call form, which is in Danny's book, FORM, learning how to form people, which is just really the art of asking questions. It's building rapport with people and building trust with people through asking them questions. Okay. One thing that we've discovered with brand new coaches is they talk way too much and listen way too little. Okay. I'm just being honest with you. And so we're going to show you next week something called the 5-step process. And in that, we're going to show you how to better engage somebody so that you're not just explaining stuff that you really don't know what you're saying. You're just kind of vomiting at the mouth, right? So that people don't like to get puked at. And we're going to show you how not to do that next week live on the call, all right? But forming the 5-step process. So you really want to get a grasp of those things, all right? And we're going to spend a whole call next week explaining that. In fact, they just changed that in the Coach Training Academy. So I don't know where those videos are anymore because they switched it. If you go in the Coach Training Academy, there's like new coach training. There should be something in there on the 5-step process and how to invite people. All right. And we're going to cover that next week. A lot of the network uses it. So number 6 is this: Emerald and Success Club. Remember at the beginning, I said for you to get into ramp, there's 2 little goals that you're going to have to hit by the end of the month, right? That's Emerald and Success Club and understanding that. So I'm going to break those down to you really, really quick right now. Emerald. So we talked about the retail side and then the team building side. On the team building side, the first step, your first promotion. So unlike your job where you got to wait for the boss man to give you a promotion, which might never happen, right? How many of you know you could go work your ass off at work and maybe never get promoted, Okay. Here, you can earn your own promotions. And what a concept, right? The better you do, the higher you get promoted. Hell, I'll sign up for that deal. Nobody else is in charge of me getting promoted but me. Good. The first promotion you can get is Emerald. So it's really simple. You have a left leg and a right leg. So as you're building your team, you have a left leg and a right leg. Go put one of your own coaches on the left, go put one of your own on the right, and you are now promoted to an Emerald rank, okay? And you now qualify for free customers. All right, let me just, and I'm not guaranteeing how much money you can make on those free customers. All I know is I was a free customer, and my coach probably makes close to, we create enough volume on our team that she makes probably 10 grand a week based on our volume. Right? So, and I was a free customer. Imagine if she didn't qualify for free customers, none of us would be in her group. Does that make sense? Okay. So you want to do that. So Emerald, and then Success Club and understanding Success Club. It's really, really simple. Success Club is our monthly goal, right? Like when people say, do I have a quota? No, they're not going to fire you as a coach. You're not going to get fired as a coach unless you break the rules, right? So there's no quota that the company requires, but there's a goal. And for me, it's non-negotiable. I have made Success Club every month for 5 straight years now, 60 months, right? Never missed. And there's been months I wanted to, right? But I found a way to get in there. It's pretty simple. You enroll somebody on a challenge pack, you get 2 points. You enroll somebody on Shakeology Home Direct, you get 1 point. We pretty much just enroll people with challenge packs now. The majority of people I enroll, when I get them started, they're either getting a challenge pack or a program only. Let's say they really just aren't sold on Shakeology. That's fine. Get them started on a program. After a while, they'll upgrade to Shakeology. You guys understand that, right? So I don't fight that. But the majority of people we enroll with a challenge pack. So if you get 3 people a month to get started, which is less than 1 a week, you're going to make Success Club. All right. We get a free prize for Success Club every month. They send you a book or a t-shirt or a towel that isn't really a towel. Yeah. See, all y'all are laughing. The ones that got that towel, I'm like, what the hell is this thing? It's like a ShamWow towel or something. And it's like, I don't know. Anyway, you get a bobblehead some months, stuff like that. It's also how you earn trips. So we have a trip to Cancun. Or no, we have a cruise next year on the biggest cruise ship in the world, the Oasis of the Seas. Okay, and how you can sign up on the list, and then you can earn money towards that cruise by how many Success Club points you score. How many of you would like to earn a free cruise? Right? Listen. Remember when I told you everywhere I've traveled, I've never paid for one of those trips. I've won them by helping people with something I love. It's friggin' the most ridiculous thing ever. Right? So you can do that by making Success Club. If you score at least 5 points in the month, that's 3 people on a pack is 6 points. So 5 or more points in the month, and you're an Emerald coach, and you're a club member, which now there's no reason not to be a club member because you get that Beachbody on demand, right? Does that make sense? So then you make Success Club. All right. For you to get into ramp, and understand, for me, the ultimate goal is to get you guys in ramp so I can work more intimately with you and really help you with the team building side. I'd like to spend more than 30 days with you, I guess is what I'm saying, right? I'd like to meet with you once a week for 8 straight weeks instead of 4. Okay. So for the ones that are really serious about it, those goals, Emerald and Success Club, are something you're going to want to hit. So listen, that's it for tonight. Look at that, 8:44. Boom. And I'm a talker. It's hard for me to finish on time. It really is. So listen, I'm excited that you all are here. I really am. I'm very excited. I love having new people around. Just some words of wisdom from an old cat that's been around for a while. All right. Okay. Here's some words of wisdom. All right. Number 1, you're not going to learn everything at once. If you go out and you get frustrated, good. That means you're actually trying. Does that make sense? Okay. So don't throw in the towel just because you go out and have a rough first month. Does that make sense? All right. My first month in the business, I made $50, and it's because I signed up my wife and I got paid for her sign up. Other than that, I didn't make a dime. My first 6 months, I might have made a few $100. I might have helped a few people. Right. Okay. Now I make a few $100 an hour. More than that, because I don't work 40 hours a week. I might work 15. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So don't throw in the towel, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is this. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You have all of us. Don't be afraid to ask questions, okay? If you're hesitant on something, if you don't understand something, just ask. If you ask privately, if you ask in the group or whatever, we're going to do our best to help you the best that we can, all right? And if you just do those things, I think you'll be all right. Stay course. Don't give up too fast. Don't disappear, okay? I coach high school football, and I can tell you that it's not always the most talented kid that has the longest term success. Does that make sense? I've had kids when they were freshmen and they walked in the door, I thought, oh shit, he's going to play football. He's going to get killed. Right? Holy crap. This kid is going to get killed. Like, he don't need to be out there, but they stuck around. They showed up to the weight room. They came to practices. They learned, they grew, they matured. Does that make sense? And by the time they were seniors, they were first team All-State and getting a full ride scholarship somewhere. You guys understand that? I've also had kids that as a freshman, I'm like, man, that kid's going to be a beast. That kid rocks. Okay. And guess what? Kid didn't show up, was full of excuses, was late to the weight room, didn't show up to practice, skipped out on films, all that stuff. And he did, and then never did much of anything with it. Never did much of anything with it. So I'm not going to base you just solely on your talent, in this first month. I'm looking for people, truthfully, at this point where I'm at, I'm looking for people that are willing to stay the course and understand this, that you guys made a conscious decision to join in a mission, right? And our mission is to help people. And there's an awful lot of people out there that need help. They need help physically. They need help financially. They need help with how they think. They need help with depression. They need all kinds of help. They need help with money. They need help with stress in their marriage. They need all kinds of help. And I'm telling you right now that they might come into Beachbody because they want to get a workout in and have a six-pack and look sexy on Friday night, but it will change who they are and their whole life will change. I'm living proof of that, okay? So when you guys made a choice to say yes to being a Beachbody coach, You made a choice to say yes to joining a mission and locking arms with all of us to go out there and kick ass because we believe in what we do. I want you guys to understand that first and foremost. All right. So that's my rant, and I'm now over. I'm now over. You guys are like, shut up. I'm more than 45 minutes. You said 45 minutes. So with that said, I'm looking forward to a great month, man. I've been using my Beachbody On Demand. If you haven't used it, get on there and use it. I did 3 workouts today, which is the most I've done in a day, but I was so excited about On Demand. I'm like, I'm just going to go for it, right? I'm like, you know, I did it right here on my laptop on the other side on my little kitchen floor over here. I was working out in the kitchen. How about that with On Demand? So anyway, guys, listen, thank you for being here. We'll see you every day this week, okay? Next week, we're doing the 5 steps. We're going to talk to you about how to put the challenge group out there. You know, how to set your start date for your challenge group, how to go out there and invite people to it, how to promote it, all of that stuff, okay? And then how to talk to those people step by step, how to ask them questions, how to show them videos, you know, all of that stuff, so that you guys can have more success with them. So we're gonna role play that. There are training videos on that in the Coach Training Academy. It's not called the Coach Training Academy anymore, though. It's just called Training, okay? So if you go, you can find it in there. And I suggest that you spend some time in there under that new Coach Training and review that, okay? That's like your at-home homework. So with that said, that's it for tonight. High fives, knuckles, fist bumps, bam. I'll see you guys next week on this call. Peace.